As a shiny hunter, I have been on the age-old quest to catch them all. So it might be surprising for me to say when Pokemon Champions was released at the start of April, I was incredibly excited. While there are shiny Pokemon in this game, if I wanted to get them all through the built-in ranch system of acquiring Pokemon, I would have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to even have a chance. Lucky for me, Champions has home support immediately available, so I can catch all 210 Pokemon available in the first format as shinies in other games and transfer them in. Oh, and while I'm doing all of this, I am going to try to hit top 300 in the world in Pokemon Champions to earn the rank of Pokemon Champion. My quest begins weeks before the actual release of Champions, which is me building my first team and shiny hunting them all. And you can guess what Pokemon I wanted to base the whole team around. Politoed. I am a Politoed trainer after all. Politoed learns a ton of cool moves like Encore, Helping Hand, and even Perish Song. And along with that, his ability Drizzle makes it amazing for setting rain for rain teams. And I've hunted Politoed quite a few times, but I wanted something new. So I booted up Pokemon Shield, where in the Isle of Armor, I can fly to the soothing wetlands, and when it's raining, there's an overworld Politoed spawn. And unlike Scarlet and Violet, the overworld Politoed will never look shiny, but it's determined when I get into the encounter. So I can just run into it over and over, doing soft resets until I get the shiny. And with shiny charm odds, here is how the first hunt went. They're famous actors. Oh, shiny Politoed! Ooh. Alright, we need to catch this thing. I want to put it in a cool ball. Keldeo is gonna kill it. Oh, okay. Well, it's not going in a dive ball. First great ball! First great ball, we catch it. That is sick. And as we're hunting this, I'm hunting Kyogre at the same time on the 3DS. So both know Drizzle, and that's pretty much why he's part of the competitive team. So we're gonna name him Drizzle. And look at him go. That's so cool, man. Oh, I love Politoed. Amazing. And yeah, not too bad of a start. We also take Drizzle the Politoed to beat the Elite Four, which gives it the Galar champion title. Now, while I could have gone the Perish Song route, I decided to build a more traditional rain team. So we need a Pokemon with Swift Swim, and while looking at my options, Basculegion seems to be our best bet. And hopping into Legends Arceus, I max out the research for Basculin, and I start looking in the Cobalt Coastlands for our shiny, hoping the one we get is male, since it has the best physical stats, and that's what I'm looking for. And that's going to be phase one of the challenge. That's a shiny Magmar. Pretty cool looking. Come on, please, man. Get in the ball, please. Okay, we got him. Thank goodness. Ooh, that Basculin shiny. Nice. That didn't take too long at all. All right, so these guys flee. I gotta put down a couple saves. There we go. Got him. Nice, nice, nice. In Basculin, you're gonna have to do some damage to yourself. I guess me also. We need you to evolve, buddy. And finally, here's the evolution. Ooh. I like it. Oh my god, this is so cool, man. While I was hyped for the right gender, I will have to go back and get the female eventually too. And for this challenge, I plan to get all forms if there's a stat or a type difference, but I won't be getting all the Furfuro trims or all the sizes of Gourgeist or anything cosmetic like that. I also take Basculegion to the little photo booth in Jubilife Village, where if we take a photo, we can get the title of the distant past, which I'll do for all the Pokemon that I get in Legends Arceus. Now, in this format, we will be dealing with Mega Evolutions. So I need to think, what Mega do I want on this team? And the perfect pick for me is Mega Dragonite. I've used Mega Dragonite plenty in ZA, but Champions is the first time we get to see all of these new Megas and how they operate in turn-based battles. Dragonite also has really good coverage, and in the rain, Hurricane can't miss, so that's huge for Dragonite. And switching games once again, I take on the hunt for a Rooftop Dratini and ZA, a hunt I remember when ZA came out everyone was doing, and I've wanted to do it for a long time now.
Oh, that is a shiny sparkle somewhere. Hopefully Dratini. Oh! Wait a second. Yeah, it's Dratini. Nice. I thought I was going to get a Fletchling or something surely first, but this is sick. Wow, man. And I really want to catch it in a Beast Ball. Oh, this is going to be tough. Oh my god, I actually got it. I have been hunting this for 2 hours and half of that time is trying to catch it. Oh wow, this is such a cool shiny, man. In a Beast Ball too.
After evolving Claire, we officially have half our team, and I just need to round it out a bit more. So I hop into Pokemon Scarlet and get a Sinistcha. While I heard it was really good in previous formats, I figured the ability Hospitality, which gives health to our ally on switch-ins, would keep Dragonite super nice and healthy. And to finish our Water, Grass, Fire core, on the team I get a shiny Litten, so I can evolve it into an Incineroar. If you've heard anything about VGC, you probably know Incineroar has arguably been the best in the game, so I figured it can't hurt to start my competitive journey with one of my own. And when I say one, I actually mean 3 because I ended up getting 3 Litten, so I would have to swap around them less if I'm putting different movesets on them. Anyways, we need one last Pokemon to round out the team, and I wanted another Mega. So I picked Raichu. It was another Mega I had been waiting for, and I figured my team was pretty weak to electric attacks, so if I had a Pokemon with the ability Lightning Rod, it could absorb those attacks and we'd be good to go. I wanted to get my Pikachu in Kanto, and while I recently started shiny hunting on Fire Red and Leaf Green, I've seen other people hunt Pikachu there, and I don't have months or even years to spend looking for it. So we boot up Let's Go Pikachu, chain a few Pikachu so the spawn rate increases, although it didn't continue the catch combo, so I was hunting at charm odds. Anyways, days before the release of Pokemon Champions, I find my buddy.
Oh my god, right? You gotta be kidding me. I just failed a 30 chain. Oh, this is the second Pokemon in the chain. That's crazy. And we caught it, yes. Champions is literally like just about to release, so I'm so glad I got my Pikachu, soon to be Raichu. Wow, 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 wow. This is a great shiny.
While my team was finally assembled, Pokemon Champions releases. And while the public had a mixed reaction, I was having a blast. I did come to some unfortunate realizations though, like Raichu was in the game, but Mega Raichu wasn't available. So we quickly did a shiny hunt in Blueberry Academy to scoop up a Duraludon, which would soon become an Archaludon for my Rain team. Electroshot just seems like a busted no-brainer move for a Rain team since it raises my special attack as well as doing a ton of damage. And I know a lot of people weren't too happy with the limited amount of items in the format or the limited amount of Pokemon, but for someone like me just getting back into VGC, this made things a lot easier for me to really learn the metagame. So I get my character to a point where he's looking pretty clean, and I start climbing. We make our way through Great Ball tier and then Ultra, and not only 3 days after release, we reach Master Ball tier. But this is where the true challenge begins. Champion tier is a whole different beast. In this time, a meta was starting to take shape. So between matches, I was hunting down some of the best meta Pokemon in the format as shinies. I knew I was going to have to try more teams if I want to truly understand the meta. And there's something that has always interested me in Trick Rooms, so I pick up a Farigiraf and a ton of powerful, slow Pokemon. But I realized Trick Room games are a bit slower, and if I want to improve fast at the game, I'm going to need a fast team that's built for quick games. And although in my heart I'm a Politoad trainer, I saw a team on the ladder that really interested me. And this team had Talonflame as a Tailwind setter, which was an easy shiny to find because if you've ever done any hunting in Legend ZA, you know you're going to phase on a fletchling almost on like half of the hunts. Anyways, we kept Basculegion, but changed his ability from Swift Swim to Adaptability since we can get that speed from him holding a Choice Scarf. And then we get another meta Pokemon in Garchomp, which is going to pair extremely well with Talonflame. And you can guess other Pokemon on this team. I use King Gambit, which has an amazing shiny, and then we get a Sneasler. The meta is really defined by the 2 in Basculegion, but I go to hunt the Sneasler in the Alabaster Icelands, which is one of my favorite places to hunt. And we're going to be continuing to get meta Pokemon just to kind of build up our roster, but there is one meta Pokemon we add to this team that is going to not be shiny, and that is Eternal Flower Floette, which, yes, is the only Pokemon in the game that can't be legally shiny. And with how good Mega Floette was with Fairy Aura and the insane stats, I learned something about the VGC community that I had no idea about. As a shiny hunter, I play almost every game. I'm a Pokemon fan. I love the stories, the environments, and the battles. But in VGC, there's a large amount of players who have no interest in playing ZA or Legends Arceus or Scarlet and Violet. So now that Mega Floette is one of the best mons in the game, everyone was complaining that it's essentially a $70 Pokemon, because the only way you can get it is through playing through Legends ZA. And meanwhile, I'm oblivious to this, thinking how cool it is to battle alongside Floette that I had on this adventure through ZA. Like, I honestly love Eternal Flower Floette. So the VGC community's reaction was surprising to me. But at the end of the day, I get it. This just kind of opened my eyes to how different even subsections of the Pokemon community can be. Anyways, at this time, I was doing a ton of Legend ZA hunting, not exclusively meta Pokemon. I also started hunting in Hyperspace Lumiose again. I kind of moved away from it after a bit because of how easy it was, but I was impatient to get these shiny Pokemon for my teams because I just wanted to keep playing Pokemon Champions. So if I could make a donut real quick and get a shiny, I was game. Although there was one hard hunt I still wanted to tackle in Legends ZA. Back in December, I got a shiny Amora from doing fossil resets in the lab, and I wanted to do it for one of the best Pokemon in Pokemon Champions, Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl being so fast, being able to set Tailwind, and also positioned really well into Charizard teams, made it a no-brainer meta Pokemon. So I made my way back with 30 Old Amber and took on this 1 in 4,096 hunt.
Oh, that's it. Okay, imagine this is alpha. Okay, I'm under odds for this too. It's not, but very cool. Male, naughty nature. Okay, not the nature we're gonna stick with, but still, this is my second fossil shiny like this.
While I was catching Pokemon to put on other teams and to play around, I was mainly playing with this Talonflame Floette team, despite me claiming to be a Politoed trainer. And the first online tournament happened over Champions. It was a 3-day tournament where you could play 15 games a day. It was the same way the online tournaments were structured back in 2013 when I'd really first gotten into VGC. I watched a ton of black and white era VGC, but only started battling myself when X and Y came out. EV and IV training was still super time consuming and confusing, but I remember just loving it. I still have a ton of Pokemon that I would EV and IV train for those events that I transferred up. I was definitely not a meta player back then because my best team I would consistently use was Mega Kangaskhan, which was insane, but then I had Mega Mawile, another standard pick, and it starts to go downhill from there. I had an Azumarill, which also returned in Champions, which I shiny hunted, but then I also used a Hawlucha, again returning in Champions, and was a no-brainer to shiny hunt. And then the two last ones I used were Dugtrio and Miltank. I remember using a lot of Miltank. But yeah, then I realized I was no good at VGC and I got into shiny hunting. Anyways, the point is, I want to perform well in this online competition because I used to play them all the time and would never get a record over 500. I started day one off strong. We won our first 6 games with Gale Wing's Talonflame outspeeding everything. I will say, as the day went on, I started to lose, and we ended day 1 with a record of 9-6. Day 2 started, and I was getting stronger and stronger opponents, but was able to finish with the exact same record of 9-6. And going into Sunday, we start off terribly. I'm losing games I should win, playing against oddball teams that I didn't prep for, which introduced me to Espathra, which I went into Scarlet afterward to scoop a shiny of my own. But I was able to recover and ended up going 9-6, which led me to 27-18, going 9-6 on each day, which I consider a success for my first challenge. There's plenty of room for improvement. In the last few weeks of the season, I mainly just shiny hunt. I really got after it in Scarlet, checking the outbreaks every day to see if there was something I needed. It gets to the point where I'm just ripping sandwiches looking for Pokemon I'd like to use. Also, friendly reminder, Fortress is in the game. And we caught a few of these guys, but one also blew up on us. And when shiny hunting, I'm always watching something or have a little side activity going on, and one that I've been recently obsessed with are the Pokidoku puzzles. Essentially, these are little puzzles where you need to think of a Pokemon that both matches the row and the column until it fills out the whole puzzle. And I was approached by Joe from Pokidoku asking if I wanted to create my own puzzle. And of course I said sure. And it was live a few days ago, but because I missed the deadline for the video like a fool, it's not up now. But if you click on the archive button here, for the next few weeks you can still play my puzzle. So after this video, go play it. I made sure to incorporate some of my favorite Pokemon from this video in that puzzle. If you do play it, let me know in the comments which ones you overlap with me on. So shout out to Joe and Pokidoku. It was an honor getting to put together my own puzzle. But as a Politoed trainer, we do finish the season with our Rain team and end up Master Ball rank 2. This might seem pretty solid, but I am thousands of places off the top 300, which is what I need to get the title of Pokemon Champion. At this point, we have one more season of the first regulation of Pokemon Champions, so I need to lock in this season. I still am shiny hunting, but at this point, my focus has definitely shifted to the VGC aspect of this quest. This season, I had to hit champion rank and I knew it. I couldn't be switching around teams so much if I wanted to do so. I needed to pick one team where I could play an absurd amount of games and learn every interaction, every matchup, and every optimization with the team. And I know what kind of trainer I am. But you don't. I have been lying to you this entire time. I am a Politoed trainer after all. And although in my heart I'm a Politoed trainer, despite me claiming to be a Politoed trainer. Politoed. While I love Politoed, I found a Pokemon that called to me above anything else, and that is Hisuian Zoroark. Hisuian Zoroark has an ability, Illusion, which disguises it as the last Pokemon in your party, which I think is just the coolest thing ever. Hisuian Zoroark being a ghost normal type means attacks like normal attacks, fighting attacks, and even ghost types don't affect Zoroark. So we take off again to a familiar place, the Alabasta Icelands. And Hisuian Zorua in particular has an excellent shiny. This was a hunt I was super excited for, and although it took longer than I expected, we eventually found our fox.
Oh, yes! Oh my god, look how nice this looks! Yes, Zorua! Wow, wow, wow.
Well, the first teammate is the most obvious in my opinion. Whimsicott. A big counter to Zoroark is just double protecting turn 1 to scout who my lead is. But they can't protect in front of Whimsicott, or else they get hit with a Prankster Encore, which is going to lock them into protect. While I'd love to hunt Whimsicott in black and white, I'm on the clock and need to get started in the games this season, so I grabbed one in Scarlet. And I get the great friend mark on Zoomies the Whimsicott because I just love this Pokemon and it makes it just a little bit more unique. And trying to think about who pairs well with Whimsicott, I find Charizard as the obvious pick. Charizard Y is probably the strongest Mega in the game and everyone is running it with Whimsicott at the time. We briefly hop over to Pokemon Shield to hatch some eggs and get ourselves the shiny Charmander.
Oh, shiny Charmander. Nice, 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 nice. Under odds. I'd love to see it.
And I take him through the Elite Four, acquire the Galar Champion title, just like Leon's Charizard. And while we're in this game, we do also hatch a shiny Dreepy since it's a Violet exclusive, but it only takes a couple hundred eggs. But Dragapult's not the dragon type that's going to be on our team though. It's actually Dragonite. And I hunt a second one of these that I'll train to be a regular Dragonite since it's more physical than the special attacking Mega Dragonite. And I just don't want to be swapping back and forth. And then I love the idea of a second Mega, so I try Mega Glamora. This again was a quick Scarlet hunt, but I'll take any excuse to hunt in Area 0 as it's my favorite location in the game. Glamora provides coverage I desperately need, but is also a fun option against Charizard.
And I also took her through the Academy Ace tournament to get the Paldean Champions ribbon.
Finally, I went back to my favorite place to find strong Pokemon, the Alabasta Icelands. Here we catch a shiny Oshawott, which will soon become a Hisuian Samurott. With sharpness and the scope lens, we are landing crits left and right and making itself an amazing counter to Basculegion with Sucker Punch and a threat to King Gambit with Sacred Sword. And as I complete this team, I reach Master Ball tier for a second season. We get a new cutscene with Kojima, and it implies one day we're going to battle him. And I think it's a lost opportunity if this game doesn't do some type of PvE battle tower like it had in older titles. And I realized something very important. While I love making teams, so much of team building is while you're playing. I'm going to need so much time to fully optimize this team. So I know I like the strategy, but I need to find a top player who uses a lot of Zoroark and already has a team optimized. I looked everywhere until I found Frederick Hoge Nielsen's team. He's one of the top players in Europe and is one of the best Hisuian Zoroark players specifically. And he was running this crazy team that I saw he posted on Twitter. And this team included Zoroark, of course. Mega Floette was the lone Mega on the team, and then it also had Whimsicott, which feels essential for the speed control and Zoroark synergy. Then finally, the last couple of Pokemon he used for this team were Hisuian Arcanine to start. We shiny hunt a Hisuian Growlithe in the Cobalt Coastlands, unaware this is going to be one of my favorite Pokemon. You'd think it wouldn't work with this team because Intimidate would reveal whether it's Zoroark or not. But that's why on Hisuian Arcanine, we run Rock Head. This makes it so moves like Flare Blitz and Head Smash don't do any recoil damage. Along with Rock Slide, this makes Hisuian Arcanine our answer for the Charizard teams. And then the next pick on this team gets even more unique with Serena. You probably don't see much of her, but what makes her good is her ability, Queenly Majesty. This makes it so no priority attacks can hit our Pokemon. But this Serena I want, it needs to be special. While Zoroark and Arcanine both get their pictures for the Distant Past title, I wanted a cooler title for Serena. So I set out to catch a shiny Pokemon in Ultra Moon so I can get her the Alolan Champion title, which is a cool flex when I play online. Again, I wanted to get back to grinding the Champions ladder, so rather than a full odds hunt, I took on my first ever SOS Encounter shiny hunt. And this was a lot of setup. In Ultra Sun and Moon, essentially, you can get a wild Pokemon low enough, and they'll have a chance to call in another Pokemon to help, usually the same species of Pokemon. If I knock it down to 1 HP with False Swipe and then pop an Adrenaline Orb, it becomes more and more likely to call a friend. And each of those friends that pop up, I knock out, leaving the original to continue to call Pokemon. Once I do this over 30 times, the Pokemon will become a 1 in 315 chance of being shiny. 1 in 273 if you have the charm, which I don't. But first, before I look for a shiny Serena, I need to chain Pancham. SOS chaining also increases the odds of hidden abilities, and I need a scrappy Pangoro. And when I get him, I need him for my next chain, which is for a Trevenant, which I need for the Harvest hidden ability. So when the Pokemon I'm chaining runs out of moves, it doesn't struggle to death. I can give it a Lepa Berry, use the move Trick, and then skill swap so it harvests the new one over and over. And between all of this, I was chaining Chansey between these hunts to get more experience quicker. So I quickly became pretty good at chaining these Pokemon. Anyways, on to the hunt. I was back home with my parents for Mother's Day, and I stayed up late watching the Zoroark movie for the first time, SOS hunting Steenie in the lush jungle. Shiny Steenie during the Zoroark movie. There it is. Well, and the movie's good. This is my first time seeing it. Big fan. Now, as the proud owner of Rowena, the shiny Steenie, we set out to evolve her and then complete the Elite Four in Alola so I can now flex that title. And with the team fully assembled, it finally clicked. I knew that this was going to be the final team that I was going to use to reach my goal. I found it. I was staying up every night a lot later than I should have, playing Pokemon Champions. I would even lie in bed just thinking to myself of different lines I could use, different ways to take on meta teams. And one night, staying up late, I also found this. Well, it's another late night, and I was on the Pokemon Center, and they finally have the shiny Zorua plush back. I've been checking on and off, not really expecting it to come back, but here it is. Also, this plush looks amazing, but its head is so heavy. I had to put a Pokeball on its tail to keep it from toppling over. I was having a blast playing the Zoroark team. Getting one-shot knockouts turn 1 with Zoroark, having them rage quit, will never not be satisfying. Zoroark was also becoming one of my favorite Pokemon. I was watching anything related to Zoroark that ever existed, and my favorite being the Hisuian Snow short series, and it was just amazing. It's my favorite. And then something crazy started happening. I was winning more and more, and not only that, I was having more fun than ever playing this team. I guess Karen's old quote really did stay true. Strong Pokemon, weak Pokemon, that is only the selfish perception of people. Truly skilled trainers should try to win with their favorites. And this never resonated with me more than it did now. I was so excited about this team. I was VOD reviewing matches. I made note cards of speed tiers to make sure I remembered. I was doing everything in my power to bring out my team's true potential. And after weeks of grinding, we made it to the highest rank a trainer can achieve, Pokemon Champion. And for reaching this rank, we did get a new cutscene.
But this is so cool to think so few people get to see this cutscene. I'm excited. So you went and did it, Politoma. You made it. It's just as we predicted from the start. You can now declare with pride that you are among the highest echelon of trainers. Well, thanks for stopping by, both of you. I'm proud to announce that finally, after many long years, a couple months the game's been out, the trainer from our gym has... Oh, okay. So for the lore, it's been years. I'm like kind of proud to rep this gym. I don't know. It's weird. It's literally a dream come true. I always knew Politoma could do it. Oh my god, there's my Whimsicott in the back. There's Zoomies. Except she's not shiny right now. Please allow me to confer you upon the title befitting of this accomplishment. You earned the champion title.
It was cool not only being on the leaderboard amongst the best of the best, but my team got custom titles. So both Floette and Whimsicott I changed over and equipped the champion tiered title. I even played a few games after to see if I could keep climbing, and I was. But the climb had to stop here, because once again, I've lied to all of you. Champion tier wasn't the final goal. Rewind to before Champions came out, registration for the Indianapolis Pokemon Regionals, the first in-person Pokemon Champions Regional, was doing signups. I decided to sign up.
All right, so we made it in. It was kind of nerve-wracking. They had me sitting on a screen waiting for 5 minutes, but I'm excited. I will be part of the very first Pokemon regionals for Pokemon Champions. That's super exciting.
Over the years, I always loved to watch Pokemon VGC on the official streams, but never had been to a regional event. I'd always wanted to compete, and now was my time. And after hitting champion tier, I had 1 week until Indianapolis. Of course, I'm taking the Zoroark team, but my practice had to change. While I would have loved to see how high I could climb on the ladder, I had to move to Pokemon Showdown. In Champions, it's all best of 1, while in Indianapolis, it was going to be best of 3. So in all my free time, I was playing best of 3s on the Pokemon Showdown ladder. I was even able to get top 500 on the leaderboard, which kind of proved to myself this team wasn't just best of 1 cheese. The tournament is going to be 8 rounds for day 1, so to simulate this, I played 8 best of 3s in a row, simulating that tournament. And the weekend before, I played 3 of these little test simulations and went 6-2 in all 3 of them, which is great because that's my goal for day 1, since that would qualify me to day 2. And as the weekend of the tournament arrived, I submitted my team sheet, and me and Zorua hopped in the car and we're off to regionals. Day 1, we get checked in, and it reminded me of the anime where Ash enters the Pokemon League and there's all these trainers gathered around with their Pokemon that they have raised and gone on their own journeys with. It was just super exciting for me. For signing up, I got a judge card and this cool Meowth playmat. I also grabbed a shiny Rowena card from one of the vendors as an additional souvenir. But I grabbed some food, checked into my train-themed hotel room, and I went to bed. As someone who ran track and cross country in high school and college, I'm not a stranger to competition, but I was getting nervous. I got little to no sleep and was up all night just thinking about matchups. But bright and early, I head back to the arena. I didn't record these matches because I was locked in, but I still want to talk a little bit about each match, and while I'm doing so, I'm going to show some of the shiny hunts I did for these Pokemon at the same time. So game 1 began. I was a little nervous, but it was a Golurk Trick Room team, and Rowena is amazing against these Trick Room teams, and we were able to win no problem. It still went to 3 games, but our first official VGC match is a win in the books. Round 2, on the other hand, was against a Charizard team with Glamora. We actually ended up taking this to game 3 again, but we end up losing. He didn't bring Glamora the first 2 games and then did the third, and it just destroyed me. Game 3, we're back on top. This one we 2-0. It's against a Lycanroc sand team. Excadrill is usually the issue for me on these sand teams, but since Lycanroc was there, we had no issue whatsoever. And round 4, known as round 4 ever, got delayed. So I handed my team sheet to my opponent, but then we couldn't connect online. We couldn't form a lobby, and we were not able to play for another 3 hours. So he had all of this time to mull over my team, which relies on the aspect of surprising my opponent. And then not only that, he is playing a sand team, but he has a Sandveil Garchomp, which has a 20% chance in sand to avoid attacks. And he avoided a lot of attacks, especially a Moonblast and a Dazzling Gleam in both Game 1 and Game 2 that essentially lost me each game. And my opponent was super nice about it. He was even like, yeah, that is unlucky. But I was tilted. I was now 2-2, and if I lost one more game, I was eliminated from day 2 contention. But lucky for me, round 5, we end up playing a Delphox Vivillon team. Zoroark is the MVP of this matchup and pretty much kills everything on the field. And after winning round 5, we go to round 6, where we get another Charizard team, and this one doesn't have Glamora, and I'm able to handle with Arcanine pretty easily. So then, we are now 4-2, and we are on to round 7. Everyone at these tables are sweating. They need to win to advance. And my opponent brings a Skarmory Floette team, but really just takes Floette. It goes to Game 3, and it comes down to a Basculegion versus Basculegion matchup. Whoever wins the speed tie last respects the other Basculegion and wins the game. And with my tournament life on the line, I lose the coin flip. So distraught, I drop to 4-3. I play my 8th round, which is against a Starmie Venusaur team. He brings the Starmie version first, and I'm able to roll that, but then I get rolled by the Venusaur version in the 2nd and 3rd game. I kind of wish I locked in a little more on this last round just so my record would be better, but I was pretty demotivated. So we end the tournament 4-4. But one thing to note is none of the opponents I played had a losing record. So that means even though I went 4-4, I placed 378th out of 1,013 people. And then another piece of silver lining is I was the top Zoroark player at that event. And not only was I the top Zoroark player, I was the top Serena player, each having like 10 people who brought the Pokemon. And although I didn't accomplish my goal of making day 2, I had a lot of fun. This wasn't the end of the event though. Leaving the venue, I stumbled upon some gamers shiny hunting, and it was the Shiny Retro Challenge hosted by Quick Panic. And I've seen a bunch of these regional vlogs from shiny hunters, so I have to stick around for this event. Essentially, we all shiny hunt in 1 in 8/192 games, trying to get that many encounters but also find shiny Pokemon. I was hunting for Trubbish since in past videos I've definitely shown I love this little guy. And although we didn't hit 8,192 encounters as a group, we found 3 shinies, including this Minchino that I found. And it was just insane. But that was the event. I watched day 2 from my apartment, excited to get back to shiny hunting. And we have a lot to shiny hunt for. I need 80 shiny Pokemon still, so we need to get grinding. And after all that, I spent the next weekend traveling again, visiting a friend in DC as we see all the touristy, historical stuff, thinking about taking the Declaration of Independence. I also hunted shiny Rotom forms, which I needed. And these would have been really nice to have on my previous teams, but we got them now at least. And then the following weekend, I am helping my sister move. So I drive down to her place, and luckily I'm able to commandeer her Switch and use her copy of Pokemon Violet to shiny hunt Pissimian. I do so in a Union Circle, so I just need to go catch it as I shiny hunted on her file, and then hunted for Shieldon, which took over 5 hours that night, which is crazy because she doesn't have Charm, but we're using a shiny sandwich. But at least we get it, and I take advantage of having a second Switch with me and do all the trade evolutions needed. Also, while I was doing these trade evos, I found a full odds girder in Pokemon Y, which was pretty insane. And I'm nearing the end of this wild journey. Now we are finally down to our last few Pokemon I've been putting off shiny hunting for. Tauros was easy, but Paldean Tauros looks barely any different. So although it's hard on my eyes, I get both the fighting and fire forms, but we have to hatch eggs for the water one. Since Shieldon took so long, I wasn't able to hunt that on my sister's Switch. And after 838 eggs, we get our shiny Tauros.
That's a shiny. That is a shiny Tauros. I didn't even recognize it. But once I tilt the cam, oh, it looks so nice. Oh, embarrassing enough, I was watching one of my old videos. Yeah, I do that. Oh, this is so sick though. Oh, nice. Thank goodness. I am sitting on another like 100 eggs that I do not know what to do with now. Another couple of boxes of eggs to hatch. I'm sorry I'm eating, but I had a couple boxes of eggs to hatch, just leftovers. And of course, not only 30 eggs later, we get a second shiny Tauros. And I still have a couple boxes of eggs I have to hatch for this guy. Oh my God.
But that's not where eggs stop. I have to hatch for all the starters in Paldea. That's the only way I can get them outside of Pokemon Go, which if you haven't noticed, I'm not transferring any Pokemon Go Pokemon over. And I hate how long these eggs take in Scarlet. You have to picnic, make a sandwich, and wait around collecting them. And I can collect maybe 120 in an hour, but then I have to hatch them too, which takes a long time. What I do love though, is that I can do all 3 starters at once. So it's a mystery which one will first shine, and this is the one that did.
Oh, shiny Fuecoco. Nice. Dang, it's more noticeable than I remember. It's like bright pink. Oh, 2 to go.
And while Fuecoco was over the Masuda method odds of 512, hatching it in 596 eggs, surely our next shiny wouldn't take much longer, I say, as I hatch another 1,401 eggs.
Oh, Quaxley! Yes! Yes! Come on. I have so many... This was like the first batch of eggs. I have 100 more in this batch to hatch, but just coming up short of 3 times over odds. Yes, okay. Sprigatito, it's your time. Come on.
And thankfully after that, we finish our hunt with a shiny Sprigatito in only 214. Now I know what you're thinking. How can we make Masuda method hunting more painful? Well, one Pokemon that's not in Scarlet or Violet, Sword or Shield, or even the Let's Go games is Cast Form. And while I could use Meowscarado on my teams and champions, I don't see myself using a Cast Form anytime soon. So I wasn't thrilled about this hunt. My preferred way to hunt Cast Form would be soft resets in Gen 3, but I don't have any games set up right now. So that means we are back to the eggs. And I catch a Cast Form in Ultra Sun by SOS chaining for him, and it's a 1% chance to show up in the rain, which was harder than a lot of shiny hunts I did in this video. Then we transfer Cast Form up to BDSP and Masuda method there. And without the charm on the file, it is 1 in 683, which with how fast these eggs hatch, I wasn't too hyped for. They're not fast hatches. And of course, we go over odds. But after a couple of days, 870 cast form eggs later, this is what we see.
Oh, shiny cast form! Yes! Come on! Thank you! I am so done hatching these eggs. Oh! Thank you, cast form. Finally, you're pink. I've learned something about myself. I don't think I'm an egg hatcher. I love random encounters. I don't think I'm cut out for the eggs. But it is what it is. Let's see how egg looks. Oh, wait. How did... This looks awesome. I didn't know cast form moved like this. Wait, I actually love him. Oh my god, that's amazing. Alrighty, let's see it. Regular Shellos. Shiny cast form. I love the sparkles in this game, by the way. And so one thing that's really cool about cast form in this game that you couldn't do in older games was that his forms are shiny as well. So, for example, I haven't seen him yet, but when I use Rain Dance and I change form, it should also be shiny. Oh, that's cool. It's like the mask turns green. And... Ooh, this one looks even better. Nice. Ooh, not bad. I think the sun has to be my favorite, but all three are noticeable. Very cool. Well, surely I'll use this guy in Pokemon Champions.
And thank goodness we're not hatching any more eggs. And I've been playing Champions every day, doing my normal rolls at this point in the ranch. And I finally get a shiny, which was Glaceon. Not a great shiny, and I didn't really get my reaction on camera. So I have thousands of tickets saved up. And I just roll down until we get a shiny and 570 gotcha pulls. This is what we find.
Oh, it's the shiny! Oh, it's Dragapult! Wow! I am thrilled. Oh, sick. Oh, that was exciting.
And although that doesn't count for our total, we only have 2 Pokemon left. The first was a female Basculegion, which wasn't too hard, but we had to hope for the right gender. And it was kind of cool to start this challenge with a Basculegion and end it with a Basculegion. But I had one more Pokemon I truly wanted to end this challenge with. And it's the best for last, and that is going to be Zorua. We make a dark type sandwich, and we auto battle Babostiff until one doesn't want to fight.
Are you shiny? Oh my god, it is. That's the last shiny I needed. Oh, I didn't even phase on this bad boy. That is awesome. And it looks amazing. Oh, that feels good. I don't even know what I want to put it in. Honestly, Luxury Ball for Zorua feels pretty good. Well, that is the last Pokemon I needed in Pokemon Champions. And we are going to nickname it. He's not Hisuian Zoroark. He's not as good. So for that, he gets the little bro nickname. I like him just as much, but he's kind of a little bro, you know? He's not going to get in the games compared to Hisuian Zorua / Zoroark, but He's still a buddy.
And with that, we have caught every shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Champions. While I didn't have much time to enjoy the full collection before the next regulation came out, it was still such a fun adventure, and I caught a whole bunch of shinies, competed at the highest level with a team of my favorites, and enjoyed everything Pokemon Champions has to offer. As I set up for crazier and even more exciting shiny hunts in the future, I'd love it if you stuck around by subscribing to this channel or following my Twitch, where I plan to start streaming some of these hunts. So thank you to all those who support this video, who support this channel, and if you take anything away from this video, I hope it is that you should never stop going on your own Pokemon journeys, because you never know where it's going to take you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.